Alright, so this is the North Pasture. I'm probably going to be quicker today because we pretty much saw all this in a lot of detail. Grass is definitely greener because we've had a lot of rain and cooler weather. So it's kind of weird. Just out in the middle of nowhere, the pile of sticks, like somebody intentionally laid them there. So I'm going to walk up here real quick. This is something I did not notice before. Kind of a pipe. Maybe it was supposed to be on the bottom, but it just kind of ends there. So, oh, there's like a socket for it that it's not in. Anyway, I don't know what that's about. Something to talk about. I think those are for barbed wire. So, anyhow, just kind of trying to keep my eye open for things I might not have seen before. This is all just flat over here. And that's the hill of Broom. And the line of trees are starting to turn yellow because of the season change. So I imagine this will be a pretty bright yellow in a week or two if we keep having the cold weather. I think it's supposed to warm up this week though. Cell tower, whatever this tree is, still pretty sure it's a cherry tree. This all is actually nice and clear in here. Let's see, I'm gonna go away from the fence a little bit. Something I didn't really talk about last time that I discovered a week after I made the film, and I think we had seen them before, but, and by the way, I'm just walking through another tansy patch. More to the center are these buckets. There's 3 of them. The blue and the yellow one are in okay condition, although I left them where they were, and then there's a white one in the center that's knocked over and has broken because it's so brittle. I'm assuming that these were used to feed whatever animals were being pastured here. So, I'm gonna have to think that. I thought that's not tansy, and I wondered what this was, but there's the bloom, so I could seek it. Little weird stand of broom here in the center. So, kind of looking along the eastern edge from the center this time. That Madonna tree looks really sad at the top. So I kind of wonder if we did want to take out trees, it would be ones like that maybe are ailing, or it's not quite dead, but it does look like it's pretty sad on this one side. It's a view of these trees from a little bit further away. Last time we went right underneath them. So I kind of get a view from this way. You can kind of get a view of all that tansy and thistle I walked through on the last film. And I'm just gonna stick my head in. Everywhere I look, there's grass, and I think what's buttercup sticking up through popped up because of the extra moisture. So I don't see anything exciting or new in there, but I thought I'd stick my head in under the fir because it really obscures the vision of the corner. But some holly in there. I know there was one on the fence, but it looks like there's one next to the tree trunk as well. Alright, so I'm about to head, oh, look at all these pine cones. Good, pretty. They look different when they're wet. So now I'm on the north end. I'm going to kind of head back towards the center by way of the apple tree. That's that patch of broom from the other side. There's the apple tree. Lots of good apples. weird growth patterns. Probably animals living in here. Probably animals living all. Yeah, it's probably too open, but it's still a good hiding place. Definitely a good hiding place for a kid. This is more the center. Lots of open grassy, and then there's just these patches where all of a sudden the invasive weeds start. That's the broom patch. It was kind of interesting to look at that from an aerial map. Not that I know how accurate that is to today, but it's hard to get a sense of it from here on the ground. Right, I'm gonna point this south. Not much going on over there. This is kind of an interesting line. Looks like broom maybe turns a little bit yellow at the tips at the end of the season. I don't know. Or maybe that one's just ailing. Super tall ones over here. It definitely feels like there's kind of this big wide path. And we'll stop a broom here in the middle of the tansy. It's not really anything new other than what I've mentioned already. I'm gonna see if that rotting animal is still over here. Is that it? I think that's it. I don't know actually what that is. Yeah, right. I don't know. It's so hard to tell and I don't want to touch it, but I'm pretty sure those are feathers. So I'm pretty sure that's a dead bird. One thing I think is a little interesting, but maybe not, is there's just not nearly as many droppings in this section. And my guess is that this area is just so open that they don't feel as comfortable hanging out here for any length of time. Although they certainly didn't seem scared at all in the middle of the day the other day and right in our backyard. So I don't know. Maybe the entrances and exits are not as obscured. So back to the apple tree over here. These apples are turning more red. I'm gonna poke my head back here real quick because I see some red. Nope, I don't. I thought I saw some red berries. I think this is some Himalayan blackberry, or not Himalayan. It's not Himalayan. It's the Pacific native blackberry, and I didn't see it the last few times. So there's another patch over here. This one's just not doing. There's only a few berries on it, which is why I guess it didn't stick out. And this is almost like a nope, that's just the broom. It practically gets a woody stem on it, like a tree, I guess, when it gets big enough. So that's terrifying. Anything else in here that I didn't notice before? I think I pointed out that holly before. A little bit more of the native blackberry. There's a fern there. Actually, there's fern all along here. There's some little ivy here. Ivy is a plant I'm happy to completely destroy if possible. Much like the Himalayan blackberry. This is the root system of one of the cottonwoods. At least I'm pretty sure these are cottonwoods. This trunk is interesting. And tons of suckery stuff at the bottom. That's kind of a fun little area. I don't know what that sound was above me. Could have been an animal. I don't know. Alright, we've seen all this. Nothing new over here except maybe extra branches lying all over the ground. I think some of that was there last time. I'm going to kind of walk towards the center a little bit again, just to kind of get a different view of these trees. This is the log that's down. And It's a weird way for that one to have fallen. I guess it broke up at the top and then laid down there. So here's sorry, I'm not really watching the video. Here's a shot of the trees from this direction, which is something we haven't seen as much. So I'm gonna go ahead and walk along the path of the trees just for something different to do. Some pansy there. It smells really good right here, like a wood smell. This, by the way, I just happen to know that that's the dead remains of foxglove. So I think we're gonna see foxglove all over the property, which is super pretty, but once it dies, you're not gonna see it. That's one of the things you're not gonna see if you completely mow everything down to the ground. This is interesting. I have no idea what it is, but it's got these sharp things on it. Reminds me of quince, but I don't know for sure. Or barberry, but the leaves look different. Alright, so the more you're kind of inside these trees, the less they look like a line, the more they look like little clumps that are roughly in lines, because now I'm kind of zigzagging back. So here's a big rock that I didn't really notice before, and another, is that a rock? Yeah, and I think yet another one back in there that would be fun to kind of unearth this if we get that broom out. So what else is here? More big broken boughs, a little bit of blackberry, but not very healthy, which is good because that's easier to get out. Whoa, I just stepped on a rock, not a super big one, but enough that if the guy who does mowing knows to come out here and clear all that ahead of time, because that would be horrible on your mower. I'm sure he does. Can't tell if this is like 6 trees together or one big tree. They just really are clumped up. That's clearly a separate one. But there's a post here that's clearly not part of the tree. So I don't know if that was for tying up an animal temporarily. Kind of reminds me of Minecraft. Need a leash. Right, here's a view of that tree in the house from here. There's the tree by the entrance. So we talked about doing a little bit different pathways, so that's kind of what I tried to do. I did walk past the burn pile and stuff by doing this, but I think I didn't see this one. This is a big brush pile here that looks quasi-intentional, and a bunch of stones and what almost looks like, is that concrete? What the heck is this? Huh, that is some kind of statuary that's been broken up. So that's, to be honest, I'm a little surprised I haven't found more stuff like that. Like a little bird bath. That's my guess, is that this was some kind of bird bath. You can see the decoration on the, it's made to look like a tree trunk. There's another, I'm sure that was part of it. There's a log here that's interesting. I might bring that up by the house just for decoration. So there might be some other interesting things in this pile. It might be fun to pull these logs back and see what else is under there that's hiding. So there was something to get a little interested in or excited about that I wasn't really expecting. Man, it's rotting, but it's interesting. Oh, yep, here's another piece of that. Ah, found it. Funny how it's an archaeological excavation. Just kidding. These two go together. So I'm entertained by that. This feels like it was not a waste of time. All right, so that was that side. This is what we did see the other time because of the way I came around before. And definitely, I think I'm going to come out here, make a big hole in that, put all my current composting, cover it back up, 2 feet deep. Should not be a huge problem. Let it break down over the winter, and then we'll just have some, we need some way to get rid of our scraps anyway, and then we'll have some nice soil in the spring. Not really soil, but compost start. We'll certainly have mulch. I don't know if I saw this last time. Kind of a weird plasticky, reminds me of the stuff on my weed whacker, but it's too thick. So who knows? I'm sure it's just some kind of binding. Anything interesting here? Nope. Not that I can see. So I think I am done. I'm gonna go ahead and keep the video going while I walk back to the gate just in case. But I don't really see anything else to chat about. We might talk about whether we want to keep this open all the time. I mean, clearly we do now, but I don't know what circumstances we might want to close it. Also, that's something I hadn't really noticed before, but knowing Jackie probably did. So there you go. I'm not ending on the cell tower this time. I'm going to end on the trees.